Snapchat was launched onto the App Store in 2011 by Evan Spiegel and Bobby Murphy. It was originally created as a photo sharing app where photos shared between friends would self delete after a period of time. Since then, it has grown considerably, and as of 2016, over 100 million users are sending photos through Snapchat. The app, by its very essence, is ephemeral, which means lasting for a short time. Snapchatters send snaps to their contacts that can be viewed between 1 and 10 seconds before it disappears. This is why the logo is a goat. The app has developed far beyond its original photo sharing roots. It now has the capacity to send videos, attach emojis as overlays, the choice of different filters to add to an image, the ability to track locations through geotags, and an amalgamation of other features. However, one feature in its introduction changed the entire scape of Snapchat. October 3rd, 2013, Snapchat releases an update with a feature labeled as Stories. The premise of Stories involves creating a chain of aggregated snaps that can be viewed infinitely within a 24-hour period. The interesting phenomenon at play here is the ability of a snap story to retain viewer orientation throughout the story, relying very little on exposition to provide contextual understanding. Snap itself, juxtaposed with other snaps, fill this void innately. Expositional cues are generally provided by the use of text overlay and emojis to provide context. Even the text has character limitations, therefore generating incredibly refined output. Because Snap Stories are an aggregation of separate Snapchats sequenced chronologically, each story features, by default, narrative structure convention. Snaps appear in chronological order with a beginning, middle, and end. The user is inadvertently creating the narrative, and what is interesting is that the user has no certainty surrounding how the narrative will end or what snaps are to follow. This allows for greater authenticity, and the narrative is almost an accidental byproduct and not at all influenced by direction or vision or intended resolution. The only resisting force to the snap story is narrative is time. This is because of the 24-hour window. If you want to feature a sunrise and sunset in your story, you have to be ready to snap within the window of opportunity. Snap stories demonstrate the ability of individuals to tell a story about themselves and have developed into a method of constructing the most authentic online identity. Certain Snap users have certain characteristics that manifest within their stories. Within this story, I aim to observe the Snap characteristics of other users and how they generate a narrative of their own style within the parameters established by the app. I interviewed the following three people and displayed their Snap characteristics within my own story. Meet Dylan. He's a notorious Snap story user. Dylan, if you don't mind me asking you a question, what does Snap story mean to you?
It's just a way to express myself.
What does Snap story mean to you?
I guess it's when I have just something interesting to post and something I'd like to share with everyone. Most of the time that's my dog. I guess a personal snap would be something that's more relevant to who I'm sending it to or whatever, but Snap Story is more just general.
This is the subject generally of Dylan's Snapchats.
Like things I'll see or what I'm doing, or I don't know, if I feel like taking a photo or something, I'll usually do that through Snapchat. I haven't really noticed it, to be honest, but she does feature pretty prominently. Generally I'll just use like a normal like text over image or a geo filter if it's funny, or maybe the her filter. Probably two.
What comes number one?
Facebook.
What comes number three?
I don't know, Reddit or Twitter. No.
Why do you use Snapchat, Dill?
I don't know. No.
What's your favorite emoji?
Probably 100. I'm generally pretty aware of it, but it never ends up working out. It's always just like a mess of different things happening. You better not put any of this on your Snap story.
I won't. Meet Helena. So, what do you think about Snapchat, eh?
Yeah, Pretty sick app, I must admit, you know, gets around and stuff. Oh, like, you know, some people want to check out my day and that, and, you know, just give them a bit of a whiff on what's happening, you know? Just a little whiff. Dogs. And then sometimes I'll put my dogs up if we go to the park, or like if I take my dogs on a walk.
Would you say Pilates is a feat of your Snap story?
Nah. Probably, you know, I do one of them a lot, or sometimes one of them, or, you know, I'm good at doing the whips now, and the nays.
What's your favourite filter?
You're talking to me like, oh, face distortion.
What Snap tool do you use the most?
Time, I'd say.
Why is that?
Just, you know, an accurate representation of my life. No. Snapchat's about my life, not theirs.
You heard it here first.
Because you're the character of your own life, you know. They just follow me around, watching me do my stuff. They don't need me to write it for them. It's there.
Meet Steph. Hey Steph,
Hi.
welcome to the Snap documentary.
It's pretty much just a place where I can either send things to my friends that I found or just have a laugh, really. That's it.
Snap story for me personally is just to find something funny that people can laugh at and think I'm a funny person. Private Snapchats is just sending something that might relate to a person, or if it's a streak, because everyone has streaks. If it's a general thing that can relate to everybody on my story, I will put it on my story. If it's funny, it'll go on my story. If it's personal, it goes to the person personally. I think everyone tries to make it relate to their audience. If it's funny and they want them to see it, that's what they're going to put up just to make people laugh.
What are the characteristics of your Snap story?
Mine's mostly just humour. I like to make things that I think are personally funny. I don't really.
What's your favourite Snap filter?
Indeed, that's so fun. Indeed.
People usually Snapchat things that are either relatable or a certain place that is iconic, which creates the context in a sense. Take a photo, which seems to be the thing that everyone does, so the whole story relies on photos of pink and blue in the sky. I use that as a platform to either show where I'm going or to show friends what I'm doing and pretty much have fun, really.
The biggest takeaway from interviewing these three people is that when it comes to making a story, the narrative intention isn't always a conscious choice. It's something that generally isn't considered, and this has been indicative by the answers my interviewees have given me. Narrative orientation is always present. The viewer always knows where they are within the story. And this is based upon the aggregation of stories. It's an innate function of the app. Thank you very much, Dylan, for being here today.
Alright.
Thanks, Helena, for helping out today. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph, for being in my documentary.
No problem, fam.
Irrespective of your story, there will always be a beginning, a middle, and an end.